It's time for Reading with Ray. Get comfy, grab a snack, and let's jump into our story. I'm your friend, Araya Light, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Reading is an incredible way to expand our vocabulary, jumpstart our creativity, and open our imaginations. So let's start today's story. I wonder what it is.
Hello, Sunbeams. Welcome to Reading with Ray. My name is Araya Light, and today's story is Melia and Jo by Billy Aronson and Jennifer Oxly. Melia loved science. Every day in her backyard lab, she would create things that could scrub, pitch, tickle, bounce, fly, ding, or even make your bed. Most of Melia's creations weren't finished. She just kept working on them. Measuring, testing, reading, observing, having a snack, testing again. And if the invention didn't work yet, she went through all those steps again. One day, Melia was working on an airplane made of paper. She adjusted the wings, she adjusted the tail. She pulled the propeller a teeny bit further out, but still, the plane wouldn't soar. How could she make it fly fast and far? Suddenly, Melia heard a strange sound. Growling? Howling? Yelping? The sound was coming from the girl who had just moved in next door. She seemed to be singing while crouching and leaping around. The girl came whirling and twirling towards Melia. "I'm Jo," she said, "but you can call me Jojo or Josephine or Jo on the go, go, go." "I'm Melia," replied Melia. "You can call me Melia." Melia started to explain that she was busy working on a really important invention when Jo leaped right into Melia's lab. "You've got so much cool stuff here, Melia Bobelia," said Jo as she flipped a bowl with an antenna and put it on her head. "That's not a hat, actually," said Melia, carefully flipping it again. Jo held up a bendy contraption and turned its crank. "I love this bendy ladder." "It's actually not a ladder," said Melia. "Cool plane," said Jo, picking up the paper plane and tossing it. "Careful," said Melia. As the plane plunged towards the mud, Melia dove to catch it. Jo plucked a dandelion. "Too bad your plane doesn't fly like the fluff on the dandelion." The seeds went soaring in all directions. Jo stopped to take a bite of a licorice stick. Then she squealed, "Oh, oh, oh, oh! Check out the clubhouse balloon thing!" Jo poked her licorice stick into the neck of a small headless robot for safekeeping as she dashed toward the clubhouse. That robot was one of Melia's favorite inventions. Its head kept falling off, but she loved it just the same. "You can't put a licorice stick in my robot!" Melia shouted. Jo didn't even seem to hear her. She skipped right back to her yard and started a new dance. As Melia put her inventions back in order, she laughed about Jo's silly ideas. She thought my cereal bowl radio was a hat. But Melia held the bowl upside down, and she began to wonder. When Melia put her plane back, she remembered how Jo blew on the dandelion. Could Melia blow on the plane to make it soar? Next, Melia reached for her headless robot and gasped. "With that sticky licorice in the robot's neck, the head stays right in place." Melia was shocked. "Jo is a genius!" Melia hurried over to Jo's yard. "Yo, Jo!" she called. But Jo didn't answer. She was creating a dance inspired by a leaping frog. Melia came closer. "Can we be a team, Jo? Please, please, please." "No deal, ya, Melia," Jo replied, leaping higher and higher. "Why should I try to make a plane that soars when I can soar myself?" "Watch out!" shouted Melia. But it was too late. Jo had leapt so high she'd gotten stuck on a tree branch. Hang on, Joe! Malia dashed away and dashed right back with her crank contraption. As she turned the crank, its bendy ladder reached all the way up to the branch. Joe scampered down the ladder. Your inventions are the real deal, Meal. I wouldn't have known this invention's true use if it weren't for you, said Malia. It never worked as a spaghetti server, but when you called it a ladder, I realized it would be perfect for getting people down from trees. Malia brought out one invention after another to show Joe how she'd helped improve them. The antenna hat was perfect for listening to the radio while walking. The licorice stick kept the robot's head on. When she blew into the straw on the back of the plane could soar fast and far. Joe realized that Malia was right. These two were meant to be together. They headed over to Malia's lab. Sorry I yelled at you, said Malia. Sorry I stuck licorice in your robot's neck without asking, said Joe. As they began working on inventions, Malia didn't mind if Joe rearranged things or turned them upside down or gave them funny names. She realized it was Joe's way of working. Malia helped with Joe's creations too. She concocted a gooey material they could use to make set pieces for Joe's dances, and homemade musical instruments they could play when Joe was singing her songs. By combining Joe's art skills with Malia's science skills, they could create more super cool stuff together than either could create alone. When the robot waddled by, Malia said, "Let's call him Ronaldo the Licorice Neck Robot." "Great idea, amazing Amelia," said Joe. "Thanks, genius Josephinius," Melia replied. Ronaldo's licorice neck wouldn't last long, but the friendship between Melia and Joe would last forever. Thank you so much for reading with me today, friends. I hope you enjoyed our story just as much as I did. Now remember to smile bright, shine on, and leave a little magic wherever you go. I'll see you next time. Bye!